Hello everyone, today we're going to make a reaction to Geography Now Czech Republic or Czechia. Original link in the description. I will start the video. Since I did Slovakia, and let's do Czech Republic. Excuse me, original link in the description.
Hey Barbie.
Yeah.
How old are
Alright
you?
then.
Do you remember Czechoslovakia?
Check a what?
Yeah, I was alive for that.
Okay, let's learn about Czech Republic.
Everybody, I'm your host Barbie. We have
Alright
reached
then.
our last and final country, starting with a C, the Czech Republic,
Alright
which
then.
technically just changed its English name to Czechia. You mean that place in Russia with all the problems? No, that's Chechnya.
Didn't you say that was that thing on
Chechnya.
the Croatian flag?
No, that's the Czechy. King me. No, that's checkers.
Bishop to C5?
No, that's
Well.
chess. You mean Big Buford Burgers? No, that's the restaurant checkers.
Isn't that the thing with the hotel?
No, that's a check-in. Daddy Tanner? Okay, let's start this episode.
Alright, let's begin with the episode.
Czech Republic, you're like the
Alright.
heart of Central Europe, the bridge between East and West. First of all,
Alright then.
the country is located in Central Europe, landlocked, surrounded by
Alright.
Germany, Poland, Slovakia, and Austria. The country is divided into 13
Alright.
regions, with the capital city of Prague centrally
Okay.
located in the western half of the country. Now here's the thing, the Czech
Alright then.
Republic kind of has a strong sense
This
of
is interesting.
regionalism. If you've ever heard the word Bohemia or Bohemian, regardless of whether or not the context behind the word is used to connotate a Slavic geographic location and people group, it's referencing this general area of the Czech Republic. However, be careful you do not call the entire place Bohemia. You will anger the entire eastern part of the country. This is because the Czech Republic is kind of made up of three distinct regional identities that are kind of competitive with each other. In addition to Bohemia, there's Moravia and little Silesia, who kind of wanders off and pays more attention to Poland than Czechia. Although there isn't a distinct line of division, generally Moravia is located here with these three regions overlapping, as Czech
Moravia
Silesia
and
dominates the small area
Bohemia.
in the upper east corner of
Alright.
the country. Also, do not refer to Czechia as an Eastern European country. They are Central Europe. Otherwise, the Czech Republic doesn't really hold on to any external territories. I mean, they technically leased out 3 ports in Hamburg.
Okay,
Although they
what's
are considered
happened?
exclaves, they're used as free ports for trade since Czechia is landlocked. These ports will revert back to Germany, though, in 2028. By the way, for current relevancy
That's
purposes, full disclosure, I'm gonna
almost
pretty much
2
call it
years,
the
so
Czech
excuse me then.
Republic throughout this video, so you'll never know which one I'll call it next. It's like a mystery game. The second and third largest cities,
Alright.
Brno and Ostrava, can be found in the regions of Moravia and
Alright.
Silesia, and competition between Prague can get pretty heated. In a friendly way, but, you know, in a don't push my buttons and I won't stab you friendly way. The funny thing is, there really aren't any suburbs in the country. I mean, the city just kind of ends and then it becomes countryside, like, right
The
away.
countryside
Speaking of
would
the
be different
countryside,
now.
let's talk about the landscape and stuff now, shall we?
Let's learn about physical now.
Okay, so
Alright
just being
then.
completely upfront, the Czech Republic may not be the most forest-ridden country in Europe.
Alright.
A lot of the land outside
Okay,
of urban centers
so
is
what
tilled
happened
and
if
irrigated
we
in
were
irregularly
called
shaped
Eastern Europe?
crop fields. The country has
Not
four
sure if
national
the
parks.
Bulgaria
However,
is
with
a
whatever
South
nature reserves
Europe.
they do have, they go
I don't know
all
if
out.
Bulgaria
Parts of the
is
freaking
in
Narnia
Eastern
movies
European
were
or not.
filmed here.
Oh well. Right.
First of all, if you look at Czechia from space,
Alright.
you'll notice that the entire country is kind of shaped like a bowl encased by mountains on all sides. This makes the country a perfect drainage basin for various rivers like the Elbe, Vltava, and Morava
Alright.
rivers. Closer to the outside of the borders are rolling green hills and low mountains that speckle the country
Alright
with
then.
the occasional forest and classical Bohemian and Moravian castle perched
Yeah,
on
I
the
guess
summits.
so. Let's. Okay, look it. This is every.
Then you have that weird
Alright.
small desert that's barely like a kilometer wide. Otherwise,
Alright
most
then.
of the country is kind of flat with small undulations here and there,
Alright
loaded with
then.
barley and wheat fields. Don't be fooled though. Barley and wheat, although good for bread and cereals, is important for the crown prize commodity that usurps all other Czech products. Beer! Yes. Beer. The Czech take beer very seriously. You
Well,
thought the Germans and
German-
Irish had a heavy beer culture. You obviously have not met.
I don't know if Scotland too.
No, but seriously, the Czech Republic has the highest beer consumption per capita than any other country in the world at around 145 liters per person per year. Nonetheless, driving while drunk is a serious crime with incredibly harsh punishments. They take the policy with almost zero tolerance. So just remember,
That's
when in
illegal.
Czechia, keep your drunken
Probably.
fights and mental breakdowns where they belong, at home with your family. Speaking of family, a favorite pastime that many Czech families have is going mushrooming, in which we go out for hikes and pick wild edible mushrooms and bring them back home to cook. The Czech economy is really heavily centered around industry and manufacturing, though, especially in the automotive department. Car production alone
That's
makes up
where
about 80%
Skoda
of all
was
exports
made.
and employs millions across the country. Let's talk more about the employees now, shall we?
Okay, let's learn about demographics.
In a nutshell, the Czech Republic is the most stable and prosperous of the post-communist states of Europe. First of all, the country has around 10.5 million people and has the lowest unemployment rate in all of the European
alright
Union.
then.
When it comes to ethnic makeup, things are kind of weird and hilarious because officially there's a huge group of undeclared people. Although by all reasonable statistics, over 90% of the country is ethnically Czech, although
Czech.
only 65% of the country deliberately identifies as Czech, where 25% is unspecified.
Right.
And the reason is because in the census, they left nationality as an optional item to check off, and a ton of people in the country just kind of dismissed that part. Whereas the rest of the country either identifies as Moravian or Slovak or other, the largest groups being Ukrainians and surprisingly Vietnamese. Yeah, apparently Czechia is a hotspot for the Vietnamese. Who would have guessed? Of course, Czech is the official language, a Slavic-based tongue that is mutually intelligible to the Slovaks across the border, and slightly off but still kind of understandable to the Poles. The interesting thing is that Czech is the only language that uses the ersh letter that makes the dr sound. I'll let this guy explain.
The actual letter itself is pronounced ersh. When you see it in
Ersh.
a word, it's pronounced differently. You don't see here ersh eka. This means river, by the way. Instead, it's pronounced reka.
One thing that absolutely sets the Czech apart
Alright.
would have to be its distinguishable
It's not Polish,
architecture
it's
that
Czech.
incorporates both
Alright.
classical Baroque and Gothic elements with ornate colonnades embellishing the foyers and corridors.
It is St. Nicholas, the Church of St. Nicholas, the St. Vitus, St. George.
Home to a plethora of world-renowned composers, artists, and even one Nobel Prize literature winner, the Czechs hold their ground in culture. Long story short, like almost every other country in Europe, the Czechs have a long history of complex kingdoms, empires, duchies, reformations, alliances, battles, unions, revolutions, splits, and even for a while being part of the Eastern Bloc. But basically, all you really have to know is that through it all, they still retain their unique sense of nationalistic Central European
Excuse
Slavic
me, alright
identity.
then.
They also have an
Alright
interesting
then.
sense of diplomatic identity, such we'll discuss in.
Okay, the friend zone.
Czechia once again has a long
They use
history with
Czech,
its neighbors that
Corona
takes too long to
Czech as a
explain.
currency,
The shortest way I can put it, as part of
and
the
they
former
drive on the
Austro-Hungarian
right
Empire,
side of the
Czechs
road.
still retain quite a close tie to Austria and Hungary, even after the dissolution of the empire in the early 20th century. But then we get to little Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein had a few problems with castles and land that they used to own in the area, and for a while didn't even recognize the country as legit until 2009, when they were finally like, fine, whatever. In general, they are good friends with the Visegrad group of countries, Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary. These countries have incredibly good business and governmental cooperation. Their best friend would have to be, hands down, though, Slovakia. They're more than just friends. They're basically like conjoined twins that were separated at the head back in the 90s. It was the most peaceful split, and to this day, Czechs and Slovaks will always walk hand in hand. In conclusion, the Czech Republic is like the Slavic brother that grew up, got a job, and kind of only reluctantly shows up to family reunions when it's really absolutely necessary. Stay tuned. Denmark is coming up next.
Okay, goodbye.